Okay guys, so today is gonna be really fun. We're gonna go through the different modules and elements within a funnel and especially a page. So how we got to the funnel that we created in the previous videos. So we go over here to ClickFunnels and click here on funnels. Once we are over there, we will have the different funnels. In our case was the two-step tripwire. So we click here and we see the different pages that we already have. So let's explain a little bit more what's the framework of a page. So let's go first here to edit. And I really like it here because it was structured in a way that makes a lot of sense and is also color coded. So here is basically the page, right? Here's the funnel, and the funnel will have three different sections, if we can call it, three different areas. The major one, which defines the biggest parts of the page, will be what it's called a section. A section is color coded by green color. So if we look over here, this blue line, that will be a section. That will be what categorizes that big chunk of the page. And if I scroll over there and just put my mouse, you see it's even in green, and I have different options over here. So that will be my section. The next section is the white one. That will be a huge section, a huge chunk. So if we can look over here, I have to come over here. Yeah, that's way too big of a chunk. It will be in between these two, and the last section will be the green one, right? Now the sections are the biggest parts of the page. After the section comes what it's called the rows. The rows are in blue. So over here there's only one row, as you can see it over there, but over here in the video we have two rows. So actually if I put the mouse there, you can see where the video is will be one row, and where the payment information, the shipping, will be at two rows. So you can have multiple rows. You can have 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, or just like this one, just one row. So here's the other section I was talking. The big white section that divides everything over there in the page. And then inside the green one, we have the blue one. That's basically the rows. In this case, it's a big row that defines that logo and basically the punchline, basically, right? And then after that we have the columns. The columns will be depending on how many columns you want. So this row, for example, this blue one, as I mentioned before, it have 2 columns, right? And each column will have its own elements. The elements are basically in orange. So let me actually walk through now, because I know that there's a lot of things over here. I'm just scrolling down. Let's do something. I don't recommend you doing this, but let's delete everything. I'm just gonna delete everything, so I hope everything will make sense after I remove everything. So this is the empty site, and actually it will be even without a background. So let me remove the background so you guys can see. That's our empty page. Now let's go back again to what I was talking about: section, row, columns, and elements. Because we need to understand all of that first. That's the framework of a page before we even try to do anything else. And I'm not planning to go over here into how to design your funnel. That will be a matter of another video. Over here I'm just going to explain in you what are the different elements, the different sections, all that framework, so you know where you have in your hands to work with and how you can integrate all of that. So of course, the only option that they give me over here is to add a section, because without a section, we cannot create everything else. It's kind of like an onion, right? You have the outer, and then you have the inside, and then inside and inside, right? So we add a section, and here you have multiple options. You can do a full width, meaning that a section will occupy the entire width of your Windows Explorer or your browser. You can select a wide, which is a little bit smaller, a medium, or a smaller. So let me show you the different ones. Full width, you see it covers basically end to end from the entire page. You can click over here to add new sections. So let's add a new section that is a small section. Now you see, this one will be a small type of width. So that's the difference between full width and a small width, and then you have everything in between. So now that you have your section, let's say this is too small, I don't like it, you can just scroll here, delete it. And here's one other thing. I know that a lot of people, especially if you are a little bit reluctant with technology, you tend to think 3 times before you click on something. So if you want to add a new section, you kind of think, do I really want, do I want to click over there? Just click on the things. This system is not gonna break. Just click everywhere, just poke around, like click over here, go to section, try to figure out how things work by yourself. I'm not gonna be able to go in every single detail, and ClickFunnels is always evolving. There's always new things. So if you don't adventure yourself, like you're adventuring right now in trying to start your own business, trying to launch a funnel, adventure also to explore the different elements that you have in the page. If you don't do that, it will be very difficult to learn what's over there. What you have, it's basically like a toolbox, right? If you don't know what's on your toolbox, you will not know if you can make something, right? Same thing over here. So let's say I don't want a small section. It was too small. Let's say I want a wide section. So wide section, it will be like this wide, right? And then I told you, inside the section, you have to create first a row. And the row is in blue. So we create a row, and the row can have multiple columns, as you can see it over here, right? So let's say I want a 1-column row. So this will be just 1 column, as you can see over here, right? It will be the row, and it will have just 1 column. And I can add an element here. So I click over here, and I say, hey, I want to add 1 element, and my element is going to be an image. And I'm gonna go in other videos a little bit more what are the elements and all the details. Right now I'm doing this so you can get an understanding of the different areas of the page. So you see over here, now we have the green section. We have now our 1-column row, and then we have our element, which is the image. And then if I want to add more elements, I can click over here and say if I want to add a headline, will be over here, and everything will be created within this blue box, or basically the row and column, and everything will be inside the green box. That's how it basically works. So when you look at any type of site, even if it's a website or anything, you're always gonna have that. You're always gonna have the big chunks that are the sections that will define everything, and then you're gonna have within different rows and columns, and then different elements that conform the site. So that will be everything for this video. Let's check the next one on more advanced features.